secure SSH connection on a server connected with that Oracle account. And then we can also audit, record that session. So it's not enough that we just use Citrix for everything, right? We kind of need to be able to manage what those privileged users are doing on a system. So this gives us that ability to do that. This module is, if you do want to use those services where you need to be able to RDP into the database, like you need a Windows session with privileged access on a system, it does require servers in your environment. So it's one of the things we've worked with some of the cloud hosting providers to set servers up so that systems can utilize our privileged access management module. And along the way, we ultimately just need a little bit more information from you in terms of how many users we're going to be working with. Obviously, that is the one product that we haven't licensed the entire Navy and Marine Corps, because we don't really want everybody to have privileged access all at the same time. So let's focus on the ones that we need. So this is where we're excited for more and more systems to use this module with us. And it's a little bit of the architecture of how it works within NIS with the remote sites, DR sites. We have our main integration point with our main hub for CyberArk, and then the resources that you need on your side. There are break glass procedures if for some reason you weren't able, the networks are down, and you need privileged access within your site. There are some break glass procedures from your remote site for you to be able to use your privileged access. But ultimately, you're looking at maintaining a connection to our main CyberArk host there. I want to talk a little bit about kind of what to expect in the onboarding process. There's an admission owner discovery phase, a request for onboarding. That's kind of initially when you're setting up the portal, doing that. There's our agreements phase where you need to sign your SLA and ICA agreements. And then we need to start setting up network connectivity. If we're just doing like SAML or something like that, we don't necessarily have to set up anything on the network because that all runs through the user's browser. But if you're going to utilize our identity management module, that is going to require, well, I should say that. Let me back up. So with our identity provider module, we need a network connection if we're going to provision the access into your system. So we need connectivity into that system, whether it be a database, an API, or whatever connector that you're going to use for that. I will say that we are kind of advancing to a new world. I don't know if anybody got the memo from the Department of War, that direction for every system to use their ICAM system to do the SAR. Anybody see that recently? Yeah. So obviously, we're not in a position at this very moment to connect to every system and grant every piece of access in the Navy. But what we are doing with our Portal 2.0 is we're going to be provisioning access potentially to a database and then allowing you to go pick up that access from that database. So depending on the system's needs, and what I'm saying there is that if you're a FIAR system and you have audit requirements, we need to make a connection to you, and we need to be able to see the access that's there and be able to deprovision it if need be, or if, say, you fail the audit or something like, well, not fail the audit, it's the wrong term, but if the supervisor says this person should no longer have that access, or from the IDSS feed where we've got a disconnect that needs to happen there, we need to be able to pull that information immediately. But we're looking at having a spot where we can just provision access to a lot of systems, so they don't necessarily have to connect to us. They have to be able to get access to our Portal 2.0, and that's still in development and coming, but to be able to pull the access that they need. Ideally, it's better and nicer if we can integrate with your system so we can provision that access automatically. But anyway, so once we have those agreements set up, we set up the network connectivity, and then implementation, depending on the needs of the system and how much work we have to do in terms of getting them up to speed on what they need. It can take between 3 to 12